6 offensive touchdowns, 8 defensive possessions without a dent, and a couple lightning strikes. It wasn't a bad 3 quarters of football for Notre Dame en route to a 42-7 lead and 49-7 finish over Stanford today. I'm Tim O'Malley with Tim Prister of Irish Illustrated and John Brice of the Football Scoop, and this is Irish Illustrated Instant Analysis brought to you by the RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. There was lightning in Elkhart, lightning in Mishawaka, lightning in South Bend, and for once, a little bit of lightning in Riley Leonard's arm today too. It was Riley Leonard's best game on the heels of what had been his best game prior to the bye week.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that, he picked up where he left off, and I asked him afterwards about whether he was concerned. He wanted some time off to heal, but he had started to play better football. And he said, yeah, I really need that time to heal. But he threw the ball really well, 16 for 22. He threw. There were a couple passes he missed. He missed the great house throw down up the seam early on, but he did a really good job. He ran the football effectively. I thought Mike Denbrock did a really nice job of coming out, throwing the football a little bit more, and then mixing the run in. Ultimately, Notre Dame ends up with 229 yards rushing. About 100 of that came after the delay with Kedron Young and Aeneas Williams. But yeah, I thought Riley Leonard did a really, really nice job and built upon what he had done in the previous 6.5 quarters that I've been talking about lately.
I forgot about that pass because he played well enough where he was consistent
Yeah,
throughout.
no doubt.
That was a miss,
Yeah.
and he was consistent throughout. And his first carry was a touchdown. A couple drives in, they were not relying on Riley Leonard today as much. His legs, they were able to run the ball or pass the ball and mix in the run with others.
And I thought it was important that Bo Collins maybe had a drop early, and then Riley Leonard went right back to him, and then Bo Collins had a fumble, but Riley Leonard continued to show confidence in the offense and confidence in operating the offense, saying he was cognizant of staying in the pocket more, but that it's becoming more instinctive, more reflexive for him, and that it's not anything he's sitting there thinking about, wondering about, or says that's when he can get in trouble. And then since you've already used lightning a number of times and we're continuing a Mother Nature theme, Notre Dame's defense continues to be a force of nature. And we said all week long that this Stanford offense was not constructed to consistently drive the field against Notre Dame. Their one scoring drive was a 63-yard field after a terrible James Rendell punt. And then the rest of the day, they really had tough sledding and finished somewhere right around 200 total yards, or maybe just below. Just a dominant performance by the defense, and held Stanford scoreless for the game's final 51 minutes and 30-some seconds.
The defense is having a really good day where I turned to you during the delay, and I was like, I guess Josh Burnham is the defensive MVP because of that great play in the third down stop, but you could have had Howard Cross, who had a couple of sacks on the same drive. Al Golden is always a possibility for the defensive MVP, the way he orchestrates these games after that now requisite opening drive that ends up in a touchdown. We knew the defense was going to play great, but that was just total lockdown after that touchdown drive.
Yeah, 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and actually JB was exactly 200 yards that they held them to. So yeah, they did a great job. And you needed Josh Burnham back, and it came at the right time. I think we're all a little bit surprised to see how much Gabe Rubio played because he was listed as questionable. And we said that when staying true to form, that usually those guys don't play. But he looked big out there. He looked pretty agile and it was moving around. And now they did a great job. Cross, it isn't often that one player gets 2 sacks in one series, but that's exactly what he did. And so, look, Stanford's not very good, but you can hammer a team, you can play poorly to them and lose, or you can play somewhere in between. And again, after that opening series or the first series by Stanford, Notre Dame hammered them in every way.
5 firsts offensively, actually. KK Smith's first catch was 25 yards. It's the first time Jadarian Price has led a Notre Dame team in rushing attempts, and that includes the Sun Bowl. It was Jeremiah Love then. First touchdown pass for Chris Mitchell's career at Notre Dame. First touchdown catches of the year for Eli Raridan and Jaden Thomas. And I bring this all up because they're spreading the wealth, and I think that is the way this offense is going to work. Riley Leonard's the focal point, the 2 running backs, but he's going to spread the wealth. Mitchell Evans didn't do much, really, today. He was barely targeted in a 7-touchdown day.
Yeah, he blocked a little bit, but he was not a force in the throw game. Eli Raridan with his first touchdown reception of the year. Did they spread it to 9 or 11 different receivers? I can't remember. But one of those
9 probably, and then in the fourth quarter they added on.
Okay, I think you're right. Nine when the offense was operating with Riley Leonard, and of course one of those 9, Pat Coogan. Maybe we're going to see the Pat Cat package now after he snared that out of midair and lumbered for a first down. A lot of people had a lot of fun with that. I bring that up because you you could tell Riley Leonard was so genuine in his praise of him. I remember we were all around Joe Rudolph preseason when he said Pat Coogan is a leader of men.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's a captain. I don't care if he's a starter. Pat Coogan is a leader of men. And leader of men, Josh Burnham and Gabe Rubio today as well, both coming back from some injuries, from extended injury for Rubio especially, and to play that much and to be needed because no Jason Onye, and it's not clear how long Onye might be out for personal reasons. So those three guys today really just sort of symbolized exactly what it means to be a selfless, total Notre Dame team player.
And Leonard and the team got a kick out of it. Leonard was referring to a stat, and I told him what it was because Coogan caught the pass, he's credited with the reception and having been targeted.
Yes.
Actually targeted
The
by
highest
Leonard.
target rate, yeah.
Right.
He almost
so-
targeted an interception on the throw, actually.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of interceptions, Notre Dame had 2 that were negated. So, I mean, the defensive performance could have been even more dominant turnover-wise.
there's one thing I want to touch on with the defense, and I did talk to Burnham about it, to Howard Cross about it. They had the third down stops and fourth down stops. Momentum isn't something that necessarily mattered in this game, but it does happen during the game. I mean, looking back, you don't think you needed those fourth down stops, but that just shuts things down. Third down stops are different. Howard Cross mentioned it. Fourth down stops, that's a turnover, and those are turnovers. That's final. And conversely, Notre Dame converted 8 of 8 on third and fourth and short today.
Well, that's a great stat from you. And overall, they're called money downs. And when you look at how Notre Dame dominated the money downs on both sides of the ball, it's pretty easy to see the correlation to the scoreboard. I think they held Stanford approximately 4 of 16 or 5 of 16 on third and fourth downs, including just 1 of 4 fourth down conversions for the Stanford offense. And then conversely, Notre Dame 9 of 14 on third and fourth down conversions, easily the most efficient that they've played on those money downs on both sides of the ball together this year.
And you go back to the Louisville game, that Notre Dame's defense had success on fourth down, some really key plays on fourth down then. I'm interested to see what where they rank in the country on fourth down.
I think
now
they're in the top 8
defensively.
coming into the
Yeah.
game, so they're going to be awfully
There you
good.
go.
Yeah. It's special teams today. Choosing a special teams MVP was kind of fun because there was only one punt, and Mitch Jeter tweaked his groin. Is that what Marcus Freeman said during the press conference? Eric Goins, 7 touchbacks.
Yeah.
And Zach Yoakum coming in, hitting all his extra points, and Marcelo Diomede coming in and hitting an extra point. It was 3 walk-ons today on special teams. Again, if the game is closer, that was clutch performances by 3 walk-ons.
4 walk-ons. Max Hurleman
Yes.
continues, and he was their starting punt returner today. He made a tackle on team's coverage. He continues to be a very, very valuable guy, spending his final year of college from Colgate after being a really fine player for the Raiders.
Notre Dame wins 49-7 over rival Stanford. We said it might be a one-way rivalry, but it is still a rival. Stanford came in with intentions of winning this game. You can join us on Irish Illustrated Overtime. It'll be published after 15 minutes after this is published. For Tim Priester of Irish Illustrated, John Brice of the Football Scoop, I'm Tim O'Malley. Thanks for joining us on Instant Analysis, brought to you by the RV Manufactured Housing Hall of Fame.